Welcome back to Eye on Agriculture. I'm Britton Rucker. The governor says there are some stark differences between her goals and those held by the state's Republican leadership. 12 News reporter Sean Longane talked with lawmakers in Topeka about the governor's priorities moving forward.
The night has a celebratory air.
We have a unique opportunity to build on the progress we've made.
As Governor Laura Kelly makes her wish list for Kansas clear, not everything she wants is being fully embraced.
A lot of calls for bipartisanship, but I believe the governor's opinion of bipartisanship is agreeing with her.
A topic that got bipartisan support is tax cuts, but there's differences in how to go about it. Governor Kelly made it clear what she will not accept: the Republican plan for a flat or single income tax rate.
I've reviewed some of the governor's tax plan. There are great pieces in there that we should absolutely pass. However, it doesn't touch income taxes. I think income taxes are another component we need to have a discussion about.
With a continued focus on education, there's also a clear difference in approach. Governor Kelly saying she would veto any school voucher plan.
That's not what it was about. It was about education savings accounts. And they're different than vouchers, of course, and I think we need to focus on what is in the best interest of the students and the outcomes, and what do the parents want.
Her speech, though, was welcomed by fellow members of the Democratic Party.
Talks about how the economy is improving in Kansas. We're doing well with a large record budget surplus and could use that money to continue to fund schools and provide tax cuts people need.
In the end, the speech had one clear focus.
I was really surprised how rural focused she was.
Rural Kansas is something members in both parties of the legislature say is an area with crucial issues to address that impact everyone.
The thing I would agree on, though, rural Kansas is so important. What do we need to do to help them? We're just going to come at it from different angles.
How much Governor Kelly's priorities will cost, that will come Thursday when the governor's budget is released. At the State House, Sean Logging, 12 News.
The Kansas House Speaker welcomed the governor's attention to rural Kansas, saying Republicans have led the way on rural issues. But Republican leadership also says Medicaid expansion is a non-starter. Thanks so much for joining us for Eye on Agriculture. I'm Britton Rucker, and I'll see you here next week.